You know, ever since Jada Pinkett Smith came out here and led this charge with the whole Oscar boycott, pretty much for personal opportunistic reasons. But there's been a lot of people out here who have had, different opinions about what should take place, from people within the music or film industry, and your everyday common folk. And this year, Chris Rock is hosting the Oscars, and there's been this charge and this push from certain people to get him to drop out of the Oscars or not host the show to make a stance. Now, I'm somebody who works in, the music industry. I'm not in some Timbuktu city or anything. I'm in Los Angeles, California, the Lions Den. So I know how the music industry and the entertainment field works. A lot of times I hear people out here say certain things or, make certain comments, and they really don't know what the hell they're talking about, because there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of things that go on within the industry that common folk don't even know about, or don't know how things are constructed within the field of entertainment. So a lot of people don't really know how you have to affect the entertainment industry from an intellectual and from a financial way in order to make change. But I'm going to go ahead and roll some footage of a lot of the statements and, videos that have been posted out here as far as Chris Rock stepping out of the Oscars, and the opinion from a lot of people when it comes towards this whole Oscar boycott that we're supposed to jump on board and support. And I'll be back with my commentary.
We have to ask Tyrese, because he's been busting to talk about this. There's been a lot of talk about the Oscars. There's been a lot of talk about the boycott.
Of course.
And I know that you have some stuff you want to say about it.
Yeah, I think, listen, I actually know more white people than most white people, so I don't have a racist bone in my body. I would just say this: at the end of the day, enough is enough. And when you have talents and you have gifts, it's not that you seek the validation of non-blacks and say, I'm nothing until you validate me. It's just a matter of what's fair is what's fair. When you go to the BET Awards, we nominate Sam Smith and Robin Thicke because they're putting out great records. Adele is going to end up with nominations at the BET Awards. So folks are not being left out. But at the end of the day, if you're bringing your best game and you're bringing your best to the table as an actor, an actress, a filmmaker, writer, producer, you should be recognized to have an opportunity to win the most significant award there is in the movie field, like everybody else. And I would say Chris Rock should definitely step down. And everybody who's thinking about attending, if you're friends with African Americans, you love them the way we do, you know what I'm saying? Get out of there. Make a statement. That's how you affect change. Don't keep showing up acting as if you don't know what's going on, thinking about you. Think about the future generations. We cannot affect change if we don't stand up for something.
Good morning, y'all. Now, I normally don't make comments on, political shit or shit that be going on in the media, but I watched my sister Jada Pinkett speak on the Academy Awards and how they don't really, they don't really fuck with black folks, but they use us for how they use us. I feel the same way in the music industry with the Grammys, being nominated for 16, 17 Grammys and never winning one, so I kind of feel what she's saying as far as great performances and never being, acknowledged. But who gives a fuck? Fuck the Grammys, fuck the Oscars, fuck all that old slavery bullshit ass award show. Fuck them. I'm with you, baby girl. I may not say it as nice or as classy as you, but I'm on the same page as you, and fuck them. They steal all our culture, steal all our slang, steal all our everything, and then they make it cool, and then we can't get no acknowledgement for what we do as far as being originators and creators to this entertainment world, so to speak. So Jada, this is Snoop. I love you, appreciate you. What you said is so true. I'm gonna say it for you the way you really should have said it. Fuck the Oscars, fuck the Grammys, and fuck any of you motherfuckers who nominate or don't nominate. You old motherfuckers need to shit or get off the pot.
Do you agree with Tyrese&50 saying he shouldn't do it?
I don't think he shouldn't do it. I understand people's, position on black people being slighted in the Oscars. But guess what? This isn't the first year.
Right.
This isn't the 5th year.
Yeah.
It's going to happen again. It's going to continuously happen.
Right.
I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. I don't understand why black people feel this undying need to want to be down with white people all the time.
Okay.
Why have we been kissing their asses for years to accept us, to accept our music? Yo, y'all don't like our music, y'all don't like our movies? We go over here and do our own award show for our music and our movies and our culture, which they steal from anyway.
Right.
So why we gotta be down with them? Let's have the black Oscars.
Right, that's true.
Why do we have to continuously, please accept us, white man, please accept us? Like that, yo, let's just do our own thing.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as folks from the Oscars, hell yeah, you should do it because it's a big ass check involved. And we still from the Decatur Street at the end of the day, and we all about getting a check. So let's get a check.
So you think he's gonna do it?
He's gonna do it.
He's gonna do it.
Now, I'm more inclined to rock with what Tony Rock said, because I feel like us as black Americans, we are always trying to reach out for acceptance from the so-called dominant society. And about 3 years ago, I did a video called Stop Kissing White Folks' Ass, and I know a lot of people laughed at that video, but I was serious about that, because I look around, I just look at society and things that are going on within the entertainment industry, and I see that, our people are so quick to kiss ass. And like I said in the beginning of my video, I'm somebody who works in the industry. I'm behind the scenes, but whether you're behind the scenes or you're in front of the camera, there are black Americans who have proven you don't have to sell out or kiss white folks' ass in order to be prosperous in this industry. It's all about your integrity. It's about what you stand for. But, the bone I have to pick with, Tyrese, and I'm not going to go too ham on him, because Tyrese has been one of the guys out here who has been an advocate for black Americans, but I definitely have a bone to pick with 50 Cent. And the reason why I say, I have a bone to pick with him and somewhat Tyrese is because, I wonder if Tyrese is going to have this, this charge when, his agent hits him up and say, hey, you want to do Fast and the Furious 9 or 10, or, if you want to be in a new Star Wars movie. I wonder, is he going to have this same ambition and say, you know what? My people are not represented at the Oscars or for the awards. No, I'm not taking that role unless you have given me some type of creative power within the structure of the film being made and allow me to bring in more black folks on set. Or you guys stand behind me when we create this great film and say, you know what, we are going to be nominated. And if we're not, we're going to pull all our resources and all our funding out of the Hollywood system. I wonder if Tyrese going to have that same type of ambition and drive the same way he does with trying to get Chris Rock to pull out of the Oscars. Now, the definite bone I had with 50 Cent is that for you guys that are not familiar with, things that go on within hip-hop as far as the drama or the quote-unquote beef, 50 Cent is going back and forth right now with Meek Mill. And he's playing into not only a narrative, but a stereotype of two black dudes that can't be business-minded, can't sit down like two grown men and talk about the difference and put the bullshit to the side in order for the better cause. Now, he's going back and forth, with these memes and, instigating, basically nitpicking at old beats with Irv Gotti and, Meek Mill. I mean, he done went back. He done went back to time starting them old beats. And it's like you were trying to focus on Chris Rock and saying that he should step out of the Oscars and show some type of integrity or take a stance for the black community. But what are you doing as a man? What are you doing as a black American? Now, like I said before, I will show recognition to hip-hop, but then also I will call hip-hop out on its bullshit. I have an objective mindset when it comes to hip-hop. But, I have to point that out. 50 Cent is somebody out here right now who is playing into a negative stereotype. And like I said before, they love to see two Negroes from the streets bicker back and forth with each other. Because nothing sells more than two Negroes fighting in the media. Or two black folks going at each other talking about, yeah, I'll do this to you, or you a snitch, or woo, 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 woo. They love to see that. And he's playing right into the media's hands. So from my point of view and from my comments, since I'm looking at like, dog, you don't have no type of room to try to criticize or tell somebody else what to do as far as integrity or stand up for your people when you are engaged in childish bullshit right now. And that's my, my issue that I have with, both Tyrese and 50 Cent. When it comes down to them taking a stance, are you really going to stand up? And I think too often, within our community, as far as the black community, we look at celebrities to be the mouthpiece and, basically the figurehead to speak and stand for our people. When really collectively it's going to take the everyday person. I've said this before. It's going to take the guy that's working at Target or the guy that, is the garbage man that picks up your garbage on Monday. It's going to take that everyday person, everyday black American to create change for this country and to create change for our people. We can't look at these celebrities to always be our mouthpiece. We know what a lot of them are. Some of them have integrity. Some of them don't. Prime example, Stacey Dash. So, I just think we got to get away from that, and we really have to start being very mindful about the things that we do. And also, there's another thing. We don't know if Chris Rock has a contract. Believe me, when your agent calls you up and say, hey, you want to do this event or you want to do this or be a part of this project, there's a contract that you have to sign. You can't just hop out of everything and say, oh, yeah, well, I'm just going to decide not to do it. You have to abide by those contracts, unless your ass will end up in court and you will be sued. So that's another thing that we have to look at. But I just think we're putting a little bit too much pressure on Chris Rock. It's up to us. It's up to us as a people to make a stance. Now, I mentioned in the beginning of my video that we have to attack the system in Hollywood from an intellectual point of view. And what I meant by that is that we have to be very careful with the type of contracts we get in, because it's not just about controlling your dollar, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, that's important, and hands down, my whole thing is fuck the Oscars. Let's do our own thing. I totally advocate that, but also, if you're going to do distribution deals or you're going to link up with some of these mega corporations or mega studios, be careful with the contracts that you sign. Prime example, Kevin Hart got into, a joint business deal where he signed a multi-contract with Sony Pictures. Come to find out, Sony Pictures thinks he's a whore, which basically they were saying he's a high-paid slave. Disrespecting him, but yet they want to make profit off of Kevin Hart. So that's my point. We have to negotiate and understand what type of contracts we're getting into, so that if there's any discrepancies or you have an issue like what Chris Rock is going through right now, he can say, you know what, and I'm not saying this isn't the case, but I'm pretty sure it's not, especially with, an event like the Oscars. But we have to make it to where we have the power and the capability to dictate or pull out of certain situations when we want to. Now, prime example, going back to Kevin Hart, they call him a goddamn whore, but what can you do? You were signed into a contract. You have to complete that obligation. Now, if you don't want to work with them in the future, that's up to you. But also, they have you basically jointed and handcuffed as a new millennium slave from these contracts. So that's very important. I always advocate, getting a lawyer before cats go out here and, get that advancement from the record company and go out and want to shine and, buy their mama house and buy all these Ferraris and bullshit that you really don't need. Go get yourself a lawyer. Go get a good lawyer to look over your contract so that you know exactly what you were getting involved with. Because these corporations are about making the money on the back end. They give you the money up front, okay, invest, and they make damn near 4, 5, 6 times what they invested into you and making the project. So it's all about that back end money. But see, that stuff people don't know or are not knowledgeable about when it comes to this industry. But it's just about overall being smart, collectively putting our dollars together and doing our own goddamn thing instead of depending on other people to acknowledge us. But you guys give me your feedback on this situation. I'm out. Peace.